Imagine you sit down in front of your laptop, ready to finally get something done. The screen lights up, your document is open, and for a brief moment, everything feels clear. You tell yourself, this time, I'm going to focus. But then your phone vibrates softly next to you. You glance at it. Just one message. Just a second. And somehow, 20 minutes later, you're scrolling through random videos, jumping from one topic to another, and the thing you were supposed to do is still untouched. Quietly waiting in the background, you look at the clock, confused. How did so much time disappear? You weren't resting. You weren't working. You were just drifting. If you've ever experienced this, there's something important you need to understand. You are not lazy. Your brain is reacting exactly the way it was trained to. But here's the part most people never question. We often believe that focus is something you either have or you don't. That some people are just naturally disciplined, while others struggle. But that belief is misleading. Focus is not a personality trait. It's a system. And right now, most people are living inside a system that is designed to break it. Let's look at a simple scene. A person is sitting at a desk. Their laptop is open. Their phone is beside them. Notifications are popping up. A message appears. Then another. Music is playing softly in the background. They are typing, replying, checking, switching, scrolling, and coming back again. From the outside, it looks like they're doing a lot. Busy, active, productive. But inside their brain, something very different is happening. Instead of doing many things at once, their mind is rapidly jumping between tasks. Work. Message. Work. Notification. Work. Video. Back and forth. Again and again. And every time that switch happens, the brain loses energy. It loses clarity. It resets. This is what psychologists call task switching cost. And the more often it happens, the harder it becomes to concentrate. Have you ever sat down to work for hours, only to realize you barely finished anything, but still felt exhausted? That's not because you worked too hard. It's because your brain never stayed in one place long enough to build momentum. Imagine trying to read a book while someone forces you to look away every 15 seconds. You might spend an hour sitting there, but you wouldn't remember much. That's exactly what constant switching does to your mind. But here's where things get more interesting. Most people think the biggest problem is the internet, or social media, or notifications. But the real problem is something much quieter. It's uncertainty. Picture another moment. You sit down at your desk again. This time, everything is quiet. No phone. No notifications. No music. Just you and your work. It should be the perfect environment to focus. But after a few seconds, something feels off. You stare at the screen. Your mind hesitates. You don't know where to start. The task feels unclear, too big, too vague. So your brain does something very predictable. It escapes. You open another tab. Then, another. You check your phone again, even though nothing new is there. Why? Because your brain is not designed to sit in confusion. When it doesn't know what to do, it looks for something easier, something familiar, something that gives a quick reward, and the easiest source of that reward is always within reach. Your phone. Every notification, every message, every short video gives your brain a small burst of dopamine. A tiny reward. And over time, your brain begins to prefer these quick rewards over slow, meaningful progress. This is why focusing can feel uncomfortable at first. You're asking your brain to give up instant satisfaction and choose something harder, slower, and less immediately rewarding. But this is where everything starts to shift. Linalt Humi Mamiu no Meditin station, but this is where everything starts to shift. Because once you understand this pattern, you can start changing it. And the first step is not discipline. It's removing temptation. Imagine a different scene. A person sits at a clean desk, no phone nearby, no notifications, just one task open on the screen. At first, they feel restless. They tap their fingers. They look around. Their brain is searching for stimulation, but there's nothing to grab onto. So something unexpected happens. Their attention slowly returns to the task. Not because they suddenly became more motivated, but because there are no easier alternatives left. This is why your environment matters more than your willpower. If your phone is next to you, your brain will think about it. If notifications are visible, your attention will drift toward them. But if distractions are removed, your brain eventually settles. Let me ask you something. Have you ever lost internet connection for a while? No videos, no scrolling, no messages. At first, it feels frustrating. But then something strange happens. You start doing things you've been avoiding for days. Maybe even weeks. Why? Because there is no competition for your attention anymore. But even if you fix your environment, there is another challenge waiting. And this is where most people get stuck. Starting. Imagine sitting in front of a blank screen. The task in front of you feels big, heavy, important. You tell yourself you need to finish everything. Do it perfectly. Get it right. And instantly, your brain feels overwhelmed. So instead of starting, you hesitate. Then you delay. Then you escape again. But now imagine something different. You lower the pressure. Instead of telling yourself to finish the entire task, you make a smaller decision. I'll just write one bad sentence. Just one. Not perfect, not impressive. Just something. And suddenly, the task feels lighter. You type the first line. Then something interesting happens. Your brain relaxes. The second sentence becomes easier. Then the third. And before you notice, you've been working for 20 minutes without stopping. Have you ever experienced that shift? That moment when starting feels impossible, but continuing feels natural? This is what psychologists describe as activation energy. The hardest part is not the work itself. It's the beginning. But here's something most people don't realize. Even if you fix your environment, even if you start small, there is still one invisible force that quietly pulls your attention away again and again. And most people never notice it. And once you see it, you'll understand why your mind keeps escaping. Even when everything around you is perfectly quiet, and that invisible force is not your phone, not social media, not even your habits. It's the noise inside your own mind. Imagine this scene. You sit down again. Your desk is clean. Your phone is silent. The screen is ready. Everything is set up perfectly for deep focus. But the moment you try to begin, a thought appears. I still need to reply to that email. Then, another thought interrupts. Did I forget to pay that bill? Then another, I should really start exercising. And suddenly, your mind is no longer in front of the screen. It's jumping between unfinished tasks, replaying conversations, remembering things you didn't complete. 5 minutes pass, and you're still staring at the same line. But inside your head, it feels like 10 different conversations are happening at once. Have you ever been in that situation, when everything around you is quiet, but your mind refuses to be? This happens because your brain doesn't like unfinished things. When something feels incomplete, your mind keeps bringing it back again and again. Like a quiet alarm that never turns off. It's a psychological effect where unfinished tasks stay active in your memory, constantly pulling your attention away from what you're trying to do. So even when you remove distractions from your environment, your focus still breaks from the inside. Now imagine trying to concentrate while your brain is juggling 10 unfinished thoughts at the same time. Of course it feels impossible. But here's where things begin to change. Instead of fighting those thoughts, you give them somewhere to go. Picture this. You sit down with a small notebook before starting your work. Instead of forcing yourself to focus immediately, you begin writing everything that comes to your mind. Reply to John. Buy groceries. Fix that problem from yesterday. Call mom. Random thoughts. Small worries. Half-finished tasks. You write them all down, one by one. At first, it feels unnecessary. But then something subtle happens. Your mind starts to slow down, because those thoughts are no longer floating around inside your head. They are captured, stored somewhere safe. Your brain no longer needs to remind you every few minutes, and gradually the noise fades. Now, when you look back at your work, your attention feels lighter, clearer, more stable. But here's the interesting part. Even when your mind becomes quiet, there is still another trap waiting. And it hides inside something that looks completely harmless. Being available all the time. Imagine another scene. You're working deeply. Your focus is finally stable. Ideas are connecting. You're making progress. Then suddenly, a notification appears. Just a small one. You glance at it quickly. 2 seconds, then you go back to your task. But something has changed. The flow is gone. Your mind feels slightly disconnected. You try to return to your work, but it takes effort to get back into the same state. And just as you're about to rebuild that focus, another notification appears. This pattern repeats again and again throughout the day. Small interruptions. Quick responses. Short distractions. And by the end of the day, you feel tired, but strangely unfulfilled. Have you noticed how even a tiny interruption can completely break your momentum? It's not because the interruption is important. It's because deep focus is fragile. Think of your concentration like a delicate structure. It takes time to build, but it can collapse in seconds. And every time it breaks, your brain needs time to rebuild it again. This is why protecting your attention is not optional. It's necessary. Now imagine the same scene again, but this time, before starting, you make a simple decision. You turn on Do Not Disturb. Notifications disappear. Messages are paused. The outside world becomes quiet. At first it feels uncomfortable, almost like you're missing something. But after a few minutes, something shifts. You sink into your work. Your thoughts become steady. Your attention locks in. Ideas start connecting faster. Time begins to feel different. An hour passes, but it feels like 20 minutes. Have you ever experienced that state? When you're so absorbed in what you're doing that everything else fades away? That state is called flow. And it's one of the most powerful mental states you can enter. In that state, your brain becomes more efficient. Your creativity increases. Your productivity multiplies. But there's a condition. Flow requires uninterrupted time. It requires silence. It requires consistency. And in modern life, those things are rare. But here's the deeper truth that most people overlook. Focus is not just about getting things done. It's about building trust with yourself. Imagine this final scene. You write a small promise on a piece of paper. Today, I will work for 25 minutes. Nothing big, nothing dramatic, just 25 minutes. You start a timer. You work. When the timer ends, you stop. And something small but powerful happens. You kept your word. The next day, you do the same thing again, 25 minutes. Then again the next day. Slowly, something changes. You begin to trust yourself. Because every day, you prove one thing. When you say you will do something, you actually do it. And that quiet trust builds confidence. Not loud confidence. Not motivational hype. But the kind of confidence that comes from consistency. And over time, people start noticing something different about you. You sit down. You begin working. And you don't get distracted as easily as before. From the outside, it looks almost effortless. But you know the truth. There was no magic. No sudden transformation. Just small decisions repeated every day. And this leads to one of the most important ideas in all of this. You don't become focused overnight. You become focused through repetition. Each time you choose your task over distraction, you strengthen that ability. Each time you finish what you started, you reinforce that identity. And slowly, your brain adapts. Before we finish, let's simplify everything into 3 clear ideas. First, your environment shapes your focus more than your motivation. If distractions are around you, your brain will follow them. Remove them first. Second, start smaller than your mind expects. Momentum doesn't come from big actions. It comes from small beginnings. Third, protect your attention like it's something valuable. Because it is. Your attention decides what you create, what you finish, and where your life moves. Now take a moment and think about this. What would your life look like if you actually finished the things you keep postponing? The ideas, the plans, the goals that have been waiting in the background. Would things feel different? Would you trust yourself more? And if any part of this felt familiar, share your thoughts below. Have you ever struggled with this kind of distraction? What has helped you regain focus? And if you're interested in understanding how your mind works, how your emotions influence your decisions, and how small changes can completely shift your behavior, consider subscribing for more videos like this. Because sometimes, the way you use your attention today quietly shapes everything you become tomorrow.